Welcome to another tech day. Today it's Friday, so I have a lot of things planned. I'm hoping to make 2 hours edited. Also, by the way, if you like these videos, please subscribe as well. But I'm contemplating on whether I should go live instead of editing them down. But if I go live, it would be like what, 3.5 hours, so a lot of silence in between. I don't know how interesting it would be for someone to watch. And also, I like when I edit, I can restudy some things that I worked on. So in the end, I think I'm cool. I'm cool for now. As you already know, before I start working, I spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour on like simple games that kind of ground my body. They make me relax in a sense. They make me focused on the thing at task. So today is no different. And today we have, again, guess the game. I'm playing this already for a couple of days straight. And sometimes I'm quite the game connoisseur. Sometimes I lose in a bad fashion. So here we have another one of these games where I think I'm not gonna show my best. So what could this be? Is this a wall or is it the ground? Is it the floor? Okay, let's go. Let's hit anything. Half-Life, the OG Half-Life. I don't think this is correct, but no, it's not correct. Metacritic score of 87. Now I know what this is. Seems like this is a first-person game, and there's a morning hangover energy going on. I see his vision, or hers, is distorted. What could this be? Could it be one of the Batman games? Batman, Arkham Asylum? Arkham Asylum? No, of course not. PS4, PC, and Xbox One, and there's a mutilated hand right here on the floor. Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead. Action role playing. Ah, wait. Action role playing. What? 87%. I know these are stupid ones. Original release you must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. You know what's the worst thing? It's definitely Fallout 4. But the worst thing is the first, the second, and the third image all had this characteristic Bethesda jank, these washed out textures, and I was thinking, what could this be? Like, this is so specifically Bethesda. It's so early 2000, but slapped with some new plastic boobs in order to look 2015, and this is it's obvious. Ah, what can you do? At least we guessed it. Let's do another one. Could it be? But which one is the OG one? Which one is the OG one? The Legend of Zelda. This one. It must be Legend of Zelda. What? Too old for Metacritic. How is it not Legend of Zelda? Uh, Metal Gear. Oh, these were actually these are actually the only two games I knew from. Is this the old Nintendo Entertainment System? All right, it was either The Legend of Zelda or Metal Gear, or if it wasn't Metal Gear, my third guess would be the ET game that sold really bad. But I think the ET game came only on Atari, and it bankrupted. And it bankrupted the company in a sense. Eh. Wow, wow. I pulled this one out of my ass, to be honest. I don't know how I even got to Metal Gear. I mean, if I would come to the fifth clue, or maybe even the fourth, it's the box image. Big Smoke, no, it's not Big Smoke, it's Snake. Why Big Smoke hides him? Another one. All right. It's something modern. It's something quite modern. I can see by the shadowing on the box and by the lightning effects on this branch. Could it be one of the Far Cry's? 5? 74 Metacritic score. And suddenly the scenery switched from the beach to the surface of Mars. 74. No Doom. It's definitely no Doom. I don't. Maybe by typing Doom. Let me think about it. Let me be smarter about this. What's the name? Oh, wait. I know a game that could fit this aesthetic, but I forgot the name of it. I definitely know that. It Fallen. No, it's not full. It's not Fallen. It's World. I don't know. Let's do something stupid. Let's guess Doom 3. And PS5, PC. What's the name of this game? Is it Wulong? Wulong Fallen Dynasty. Is it this one? It's not. Souls-like action role-playing. PS5, PC, Xbox Series. No. This is not something that This is not something that it's easy for me. It's a Souls-like. What? Pi. What's the name? It's not Life of Pi. It's something with a pie. Souls-like. Fallen Legion. No idea. 2025. What is this? I need to skip this. Mistress of the Night. Huang Yan. No, I'm sorry. Wu Cheng, Fallen Feathers. And what have I guessed? I guessed Wulong. Fallen Kingdom. Alright, close enough. How many? Okay, I'm gonna do this one and maybe do one more thing. Let's see. So what could this possibly be? So the textures are extremely dated. It's brown, everything is brown. There's no colors, so it must be something really old. I know it's not Counter-Strike. Let me get a guess out of the way, and then we are gonna guess for real. 68 Metacritic score. Is this an alien? An alien thingy. As soon as I said alien, I immediately made a connection to the Alien game, not Alien Isolation. Is there an older game? Alien versus Predator? No. PS2. I'm not guessing this. I'm not guessing this. Yeah, I'm not guessing this. Action adventure hack and slash. Skip. Alright. Devil May Cry. The OG one? Devil May Cry. Why am I missing letters? It's 2. Must be 2. It is 2. So when did it release? 2003. Yeah, that would be the gap in which I would guess, based on the textures, that the game was released. Okay, this one didn't tell me anything. This one with the giant alien penis, it made me more confused. This one especially, I don't know what this is supposed to be. No. Maybe if I had more time to think about the genres, maybe I could. But as soon as I saw his name, Neo, I don't know. As soon as I saw the character, I said, "All right, this must be Devil May Cry." All good boys, all good boys and girls. Now this is. Wait, increase this a bit. This is another game that I came across. It's a movie grid in which we, based on all of these different connections, we guess the movies basically. And I don't think I'm as knowledgeable in movies as I'm in games, but let's try. Rachel McAdams, Oscar-nominated film. Rachel McAdams, an Oscar-nominated film. All right, Jamie Foxx. I know this. But what was it Oscar nominated for? Is it nominated Django Unchained? Nice. Stellan Skarsgård. Let's do JB Fox. Title starts with A and H. Ignore D. So I could also go with Django, but I won't. I think there's no, it's not Roy. It's not Roy. It's Ray. What's the movie called? Ray. Yeah, but it's not A from H. It's Q to Z. Wait, Q R. Yeah, it's Ray. Oh, and this one, I know where he acted. Baby Driver. Killing it. I'm killing it. Stellan Skarsgård or Rachel McAdams. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Rachel McAdams. No, it's from A to H. And this is one from Q to Z. Damn. I know her from Mean Girls. And where else do I know Rachel McAdams from? Wait, is this working with the notebook? It works. It works. It works. Where else? Where else has? Wait. Was the notebook nominated for? I don't want to do the same thing for both of these guesses. So I want to do this. Title starts with H to H. No. And Stellan. No. Wait. Good Will Hunting. This movie was definitely nominated for an Oscar. Nice. So I think I could do the same thing here. I can't. So I can't guess twice for the same answer. Where else has he acted? My man. He acted in so many movies. I don't remember any of them. Was in Dune, right? Yeah, he was the Emperor. Nice. But I don't know. Q to Z and Rachel McAdams Oscar nominated film. No, I don't. After a lot of thinking, I don't seem to. I know. Wait. Sentimental Value. This movie was nominated this year. Is this working? It is working. But I have no idea what movies Rachel McAdams was nominated for. Spotlight and About Time. Yeah. So I could duplicate answers. And these are the rarest guesses. Eurovision, The Wonder, A Most Wanted Man, Dancer in the Dark, Borg versus McEnroe, A Somewhat Gentle Man, percentage of correct guesses. How couldn't I? I mean, I missed the one that was the rarest, but how couldn't I guess this one? What was the movie? About Time. All right. Let's close this now. Oh, I can also do the archive. I can do the yesterdays. No, that's not it. So the next subchapter in the book is called Orders of Growth. So it says we had examples that we showed beforehand, and we saw on these examples that based on the way they consume computational resources, they can differ considerably. One way to describe this difference is to use the notion of order of growth to obtain a gross measure of the resources required by a process as the input gets larger. Okay. This is the big O notation was probably. So consider the following problem. How many different ways can we make change of $1? Given half dollars, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. Can we write a procedure to compute the number of ways to change any given amount of money? So this problem has a simple solution as a recursive procedure, and in one of the past videos you can actually see this. Because we can think of the types of coins as arranged in some orders. And then we have a couple of relations saying, for example, that the number of ways to change amount A using n kinds of coins equals, and I think we already did this, right? Okay. Orders of growth. Let's say we have n. N. It's a parameter that measures the size of the problem. And we have as well R of n is the amount of resources the process requires for a problem of size n. Alright. In the previous examples, we took n to be the number for which a given function is to be computed, but there are other possibilities. If our goal is to compute, for example, an approximation of the square root of a number, we might take n to be the number of digits that is required for accuracy. For matrix multiplication, n could be a different number, okay, etc., etc. And similarly, R of n might be the number of internal storage registers used. It could be the number of elementary machine operations performed, and so on. Okay, so what do we say? We say that R of n has order of growth theta, f of n, written like this. R of n f of n, theta of f of n, if there are any positive constants, k1 and k2. Okay, we are getting into the confusion zone. Independent of n. We are hitting the confusion zone now, boys and girls. All right, I took some time to understand this, and I will unwrap this concept because in the book it was really confusing. Basically, when we write this, where is my marker highlighter? This. When we write this, we mean as n is getting large, R of n is growing up or grows up at the same rate as f of n up to constant factors. So it's not equal, it's not numerically equal, but it's the same shape of growth. For example, if this function of n is growing by 2 blocks a time, R of n is gonna grow by 4 blocks, and if we add 2 more, we're gonna add 4 more here. So basically, they might be not numerically equal, but they are growing at the same rate. And we say R of n has order of growth theta of fn if there exist constants k1 and k2, so these two guys, independent of n, such that, what do we have here? k1 f of n is less than or equal than. I never properly understood this. Hopefully So hopefully now I will install. Okay. So there are K1 and K2 that support this correlation for all sufficiently large n. So what does this mean? We have constants K1 and K2. They are just fixed numbers like 2 or 10, and they do not depend on n, and they are constant forever. Basically, they are the numbers that are saying that R of n as a showcase of the growth of the number of computations or the amount of resources for the problem of size n. Basically, it means that R of n is not growing faster than f of n, and it's not growing slower than f of n, basically. It's trapped between the two scaled versions of f of n. All right, I think I'm getting it now. So there are orders of the change, of the rate of change. And these functions here are different functions of change. That's why we have n and n squared, or n prim, or 2 to the power of n, blah blah blah. So our rate of change is actually trapped. There exists a function that we can trap our rate of change between that function, basically. And it also says for sufficiently large n. And this part is actually important because we don't care what happens for small values, right? For n, 1, 2, 3, we might get some weird behaviors, but from some point onwards, the behavior stabilizes, and it may be going like this. I don't know. I'm just freeballing it, and this is what asymptotic means. For example, let's say our function is R of n is equal to 3n plus 10. And we are claiming what? We are claiming that R of n is equal to theta of n. And we can basically say for sufficiently large n values, we can claim that (3n plus 10) is greater or equal than n, but also 3n plus 10 is smaller or equal than 4n. Which makes sense, because if we choose a smaller number, then maybe the second mathematical definition won't hold. For a number that is, let's say, 2. 3 times 2 plus 10 is 6 plus 10, it's 16. It's definitely less than 4 times 2, 8. But as the numbers grow, at a certain point it will break. And as the numbers grow, we will basically have these two correlations be true for every value of n after a certain point. And you can choose k1 to be 1 and k2 4, and inequality is holding for all n greater or equal than 10, for example. And it also says constants don't matter because all of these are theta of n. All of these, including n, 2n, 1010, or even n plus 1 million, because they are all linear in growth. When n is equal to 1 million, the constants disappear in importance and the slope dominates. For example, for our recursive factorial or our linear recursion, in which we did the following thing, we multiplied n by the factorial of n minus 1. So each call is doing what? Each call is reducing n by 1, and each call is doing constant work. How many steps are we taking? From a time perspective, we are taking n steps all the way to the last step, to 1 or 0. And the same thing happens for space as well. How much space do we need in the computer for these kinds of computations? Because we are doing constant work, we are doing the same thing. They are n stack frames. And both of these are basically having theta of n steps and space. Okay, let's do an exercise or two. There is this exercise saying, draw the tree illustrating the process generated by the count change procedure of section 122. In making the change for 11 cents, what are the orders of growth of the space and number of steps used by this process as the amount to be changed increased? I think I have this somewhere about count change. Yeah, this is it. Maybe I could even do it here. So draw the tree illustrating the process generated by count change. To simplify this, what I need to do, I need to draw the tree for 11 cents, and the question is order of growth and the number of steps. How are they changed as we increase? Okay. So the procedure is here, and I think the most important thing in the procedure is this part. Where we actually call the function itself, and we reduced the number of coins for the same coin, or we change the coins itself. So if this works for 11 cents, and if I write here, let's just write a dot, and I'm calling the function with 11.5. Where are we? Amount is 11, kinds of coins is 5, amount of 0, it's not 0. But here it says if amount is less than 0 or the kinds of coins are 0, we are skipping it, but yeah, we are coming to the else statement now. So we are calling the function again with the same amount, and all right, let's do this. Let's do this again. We start with 11 cents and the kind of coin, the type of coin 5, which is the one that is worth 50 cents. So what do we have here? If the amount is 0, we return 1. So this is not it. If the amount is less than 0 and the kinds of coins that we have are at 0, so not, this is not it. Else, so we are trying to sum the amount, which is 11, and we reduce the amount of coins. So here we will have 11, 4, and here we will have, which is the other use case scenario, we will have the first denomination, which is this function, and we are requesting the kinds of coins from there, and if our kinds of coins is 5, so we are requesting 50. The amount is 11 minus the first denomination is 50, so we are in a big minus here. It's minus 39.5. This one returns 0, so I'm gonna cut this one immediately from the conversation. And then here we have the same thing. We will have 11.3, and here we will have minus 14.4. We are cutting this scenario out of the equation as well, because any branch that tries to use 50 cents or 25 cents immediately hits the amount less than 0, 0. So the real action for this are actually the coins starting from 10. And I don't have space here. I don't have space. Okay, let's continue. I think I'll somewhere, I'll somehow make it. Hopefully. Actually, let's copy all of this. Can I copy this? Yeah, I can. I can move it here to the bottom. Or basically here. And I'm gonna create this branching right below it where we have this empty space. Again, 11.5 minus 39.5. This one returns 0. 11.4 minus 14.4. This one returns 0 as well. 11.3. All right, so we have the case where we are using kinds of coins amounted to 3, and we have 11 cents left. So another case will be 11.2, but the other case will be 1.3, and then I'm breaking up 1.3 to 1.2, 2, and this one's gonna be -9 because we are subtracting. So this one is also not a valid case. One, two, we'll have another case. So we'll have a lot of cases here. And we can use pennies as well. So we have 4 different cases how we can divide 11 cents. We can basically have 11 cents by the penny. We will have 1.5 plus 6 pennies. We can have 1.10 and 1 penny, or we can have 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1 penny. So how can we calculate the order of growth as amount increases? So if A is amount and K is the number of coin kinds, here we have K to be 5. So what happens is that at a point where we have only pennies left, and there will be a point where, for example, we will have 10, 1, and then we have 9, 1, 8, 1, etc., etc. That's the deepest recursion, because we need to subtract 1 each time. So actually the depth is growing proportional to A. So our space would be B of A. This is the space, but now the time is a bit different because it repeats a lot of subproblems. So if we have K amount of coin types, we would need to calculate a polynomial of this degree. Basically, amount to the power of K. With 5 coins, we would have A5. Because we are counting combinations across K dimensions. All right, let's do another one. Another example. Actually, let's do something else. Let's talk about exponentiation. Let's say we want to compute the exponent of a given number. So what we will do, and what we would do, is we would have a base and a positive exponent n. So we have base, and n is the exponent. And we would want to compute b to the power of n. And we could do this by the recursive definition. For example, b to the power of n is equal to bn minus 1 multiplied by b. b0 is 1, we know this. So we can actually define a procedure for this. A procedure with this, let me just find it. All right, here we have, oops. Here we have the procedure. We have the method definition, the base, the n. If n is equal to 0, we return 1. Otherwise, we multiply the b with the value we get from the procedure if we reduce n by 1. This is a recursive process. How many steps does it take? It takes theta n steps. And also it takes theta n space. Now here we have another variant. This is the iterative variant. This one requires theta n steps, but theta 1 space. Why? Because we never store a stack. We don't have a stack for this version. Now we can also compute exponential and fewer steps by using successive squaring. I don't care about that. I don't care about that as well. All right, there's another exercise, but let me just take a quick break and we will be right back. What now, are you wondering? I'm as well. So, oh yeah, by the way, this is my wallpaper for my tablet. I use this one multiple times. It's really, I don't know what it is, the pink clouds or the stars in the background. But it gives a hopeful message, a hopeful vibe, to me at least. I like to switch them up depending on my mood, depending on whether I like something or not. So let's talk about another article. So this one says, don't fall into the anti-AI hype. All right. $377,917, so almost 400k views. And it says, I love writing software line by line. So my whole career was an effort to write software and to make it well written, minimal, where the human touch was the fundamental feature. I don't want AI to economically succeed. I don't care if the current economic system is subverted. I could be very happy, honestly, if... Alright, apologies. I could be very happy, honestly. Where is it? If it goes in the direction of a massive redistribution of wealth. I mean, a lot of people who let's say you are a college educated person and you get your first job, and your first job, depending on your degree, is relatively well paid, depending on where you are. I'm from Europe and I'm from a less prosperous country in Europe, so for us, you know, 2,000-3,000 euros, it's quite a good chunk of money. 4,000, 5,000, now we are entering the rich zone. And the fact is, even if you earn 4,000 or 5,000 euros, an average apartment or a house where I'm living right now is no less than 200k euros. So basically, where's my calculator? Let's say you earn 4k, but you pay month, you pay 1k of it to the tax guys, to the country. Your country extends its hand into your pocket and takes 1,000 euros. Let's say conservatively, you spend around 1,200 euros per month on food, on bills, on rent, everything. So you have around 1,800 euros left. So if you want to buy a flat that costs 180,000 euros, and if I divide it by this amount of money, it's 100 months, and what's that? It's 8 years. So if, and And this takes into account, so you would need to work for 8 years continuously, earning more than triple the amount of average wage where I'm from. Maybe quadruple the amount of average wage where I'm from. So you're basically earning a great amount of money, and still you need 8 years to finally buy yourself your own property. So this massive redistribution of wealth, I mean, makes sense from the perspective of a lot of people coming into this world with positive reinforcements and ideas to create a good life for themselves. But then you have all these people who already amassed all this wealth and they don't do anything with it. And suddenly it's, I don't know. It's an interesting concept to talk about and to discuss it. But I would not respect myself and my intelligence if my idea of software and society would impair my vision. Facts are facts, and AI is going to change programming forever. All right. In 2020, I left my job in order to write a novel about AI, universal basic income, a society that adapted to the automation of work facing many challenges. I opened a YouTube account focused on AI. It's used in coding to anti-res. So I just want to see AI is different. Coding with LLMs. Wow. 4,000 days ago. All right, whoever is the admin of this page, I think it definitely changed this to a better unit of time, because what's it? 4,000. Is this more than 10 years? 4300. Divided by 365. It's more than 10 years. It's 11 years. So more time has passed. It's initial articles from this user than it would take you to earn a house if you are receiving 4,000. What? There's even more. There's a lot more. Wow. Okay, cool. So where did I stop? Yeah, here. At the very end of 2024, I opened a YouTube channel. All right. So this user says we have more time before programming will be completely reshaped. I no longer believe this is the case. So we have state-of-the-art LLMs are able to complete large subtasks of medium-sized projects alone, almost unassisted, given a good set of hints about what the end result should be. This is actually true. I worked on a project in which we had to generate something that was completely unique and individual to the domain that we were building. And even though it generated a lot of fluff, things that were generated were, wow, it's something that would take a developer maybe a month to write, and we took it upon ourselves, and with a lot of hints, to be honest, we generated around 500 files in 3-4 days. Incredible. The degree of success you'll get is related to the kind of programming you do. The more isolated and the more textually representable, the better. System programming is particularly apt, and to your ability to create a mental representation of the problem to communicate to the LLM. But in general, it's now clear that for most projects, writing the code yourself is no longer sensible, if not to have fun. And this is the sad thing, unfortunately. In the past week, just prompting and inspecting the code to provide you blah blah blah, and if you're following 4 tasks in hours instead of weeks. I just talked about this. I modified my line noise library to support UTF-8 and created a framework for line editing testing that uses an emulated terminal that is able to report what's getting displayed in each character cell. Something that I always wanted to do, but it was hard to justify the work needed just to test a side project of mine. But if, all right, so these are some projects. Another one, pure C library, Redis streams. It's simply impossible. How big is this? All right. It's simply impossible not to see the reality of what is happening. Writing code is no longer needed for the most part. It's now a lot more interesting to understand what to do and how to do it. And LLMs are great partners. How do I feel about all the code I wrote that was ingested by LLMs? I feel great to be part of that because I see this as a continuation of what I tried to do all my life. Democratizing code systems, no, but I mean, it's this sentence right here, in my opinion, it's completely opposite to what the author said in the beginning about redistribution of wealth and universal basic income and all of these concepts. Because in the end, LLMs will be products of multinational companies, and only companies that have amassed an incredible amount of wealth could be building and producing LLMs at a scale at which we are using them in order to write better code. So I don't know how LLMs are going to help us to write better software faster. And in the end, it will be centralized to a couple of points, a couple of stops, and all of us will be grabbing in order to use them, especially if they continue with their ideas to have ads as well. If they do this, like, we are cooked as a society, man. However, this technology is far too important to be in hands of a few companies. All right. You can either pre-train. So there are some. Oops. There are some open models being developed in China. They continue to be competitive. I'm scared about the centralization. Wow, I just said this. It's really cool how I had my concerns, and in the next paragraph, the author talked about this. I believe neural networks at scale are simply able to do incredible things, and that there is not enough magic inside current frontier. Blah blah. Right. I want to write more open source than ever. I want to improve certain repositories of mine, but I'm worried for the folks that will get fired. It's not clear what the dynamic at play will be. Will companies try to have more people and to build more? Or will they try to cut salary costs, having fewer programmers that are better at prompting? What is this? What is the social solution then? Innovation can be taken back after all. Yeah, that's true. I believe we should vote for governments that recognize what's happening and are willing to support those who will remain jobless. You know, for someone who said a lot of things about UBIs and wealth distribution, this seems a bit cruel, but all right. Back to programming. Keeping AI is not all right. Okay, so there are some comments. There are some comments on this. And here it says, I don't understand the stance that AI currently is able to automate away non-trivial coding tasks. I've tried this consistently since GPT 3.5 came out with every single SOTA. What's SOTA? State of the art. Highest level of development technique or performance in a particular field at a particular time. All right. So why not just write state of the art? Up to GPT 5.1 and Opus 4.5. Every single time I get something that works, but then when I start self-reviewing the code, preparing to submit it to coworkers, I end up rewriting about 70% of things. So many important details are subpar about the AI solution. Many times fundamental architectural issues cripple any attempts at prompting my way out of it, even though I've been quite involved in step by step. I don't know how far I would go to agree with this, to be honest. I definitely am not rewriting 70% of the code that we created. In the end, it's more in the 20% range, so to say. And even sometimes we would reprompt the model saying, all right, this isn't working according to according to the way things are, can you fix this and this? And it usually fixes. So I don't know why. How do you rewrite about 70% of it? I'm not good at prompting, even though I'm one of the earliest in AI encoding adopters. I know I have been consistent for years, so I find this hard to accept. Other people are just less picky than I am, or they have a less thorough review culture that lets up our code style more often. All right. Non-trivial coding tasks. I've come back to the idea that LLMs are super search engines. If you ask it a narrow specific question with one answer, you may well get the answer. For the non-trivial questions, there always will be multiple answers. And you'll get the LLM all of these depending on the precise words you use to prompt it. You won't get the best answer, and in a complex scenario requiring highly recursive cross-checks, some answers won't be functional. All right. But what was the fire inside you when you coded tonight to see your project working? It was built. What's funny? I do dread. I do dread this as someone who has worked in the industry for like 8 years now. I do dread what will happen with AI and the way how it will be adopted. And it's inevitable with the way companies are behaving and the capitalist culture in the world, and the only end goal being to maximize profits. It's inevitable to see mass layoffs. But what can you do? I feel like this is not the same for everyone. For some people, the fire is literally about I control a computer. For others, I'm solving a problem for others, and for more of them, I made something that made others smile, cry, feel emotions, and so on. Maybe I should create an account here. Maybe I should create an account of Hacker News and do it myself. I'm really good at so this user said, why would I get on the board or on the AI train on Get Left Behind? Why should I be an early adopter? You know, I can just start using AI once they get good enough for my type of work. Until then, I'm continuing to learn instead of letting my brain atrophy. I don't worry about getting left behind. It will only take a few weeks to catch up again. I don't think that's true. I'm really good at getting great results out of coding agents and LLMs. I've been also using LLMs for code on almost daily basis since ChatGPT released on 2022. That's more than 3 years ago now. Fuck. Meanwhile, I see constant flow of complaints from other developers who can't get anything useful out of these machines. Using this stuff as well is a deep topic. This thing, I mean, in the end, it's just the way you prompt. I don't think it's that deep or that complex. All right. Maybe some other time. Is there anything interesting on Reddit? So this is my account that I created only and specifically for the purpose of looking at what's new in the technology world. Why are most of these from the technology subreddit? Most probably because it's one of the 20 million people. Technology, science, technology. Wikipedia turns 25. All right, this could be fun. I have a lot of where is it? Where can I see the list of subreddits I'm using? 28 communities. But how can I edit them? Maybe here? No. Communities. View all. These are the communities I'm a member of. Ask computer science, ask programming, front-end futurology, machine learning, side project, stable diffusion, algorithms, artificial bash, comp science, deep learning, JavaScript, learn from Linux masteries, science, technology. All right, let me open a couple of these and see if there's anything interesting. All of this is technology, unfortunately. I mean, it hogs the homepage and has 20 million subscribers, and most discussions are not even about technology, so nah. All right, I opened a couple of subreddits. Let's see what we have here. Wikipedia turns 25, still boasting 0 ads and over 7 billion visitors per month, despite the rise of AI and threats of government repression. Wikipedia was... I remember when I found out about Wikipedia, it was the wildest moment in my internet use. Maybe not the wildest, but one of the most eye-opening moments. Because at that point, I saw the width of knowledge that you can find on the internet. And when it comes to Wikipedia, I remember searching about, like, even even about the wildest topics. I remember a couple of weeks ago I got a sty, and it wasn't going away. It was there for 2 weeks. So I first went to Google. I searched how can I make a sty go away, and then there was a link on Wikipedia about styes, like the medical backgrounds, about what they are, about how to treat them, about it's incredible. Wait, let me show you. I think it's called... Oh yeah, it wasn't a sty, it was this thing. Where's the Wikipedia article? Oh, here it is. So I apologize if this is... Oh, it's them. I apologize if... All right, maybe I should have shown you this, but basically there's a huge article of information on this topic, ranging from treatments, diagnosis, signs and symptoms, and all of these things. Okay, I'm gonna turn this, freaking me out a bit, but incredible. So Wikipedia is amazing. It's amazing, and this is what internet always was about. It's like all the knowledge that we ever collected in the world is at the tip of your fingerprints, and it's completely free. It's amazing. It's not perfect. Something like this can't be, but it's such an obvious good thing. I agree. For those of you with home lab looking to self-hosting Wikipedia. Wow, Wikipedia is only 150 gigabytes. It's a lot less space than I would have thought. Wow. The most important website on the internet. I agree. And for example, look at this. Wikipedia. I remember I was younger, and I would hit the random article. Where's the random article? Oh, Valentino died. I know that there were 2 Valentinos. One is really expensive, and one is, I would say, mass produced. So I was traveling to a bigger city, and they had a big shopping mall. So I went there and I bought for my missus a bag and it was by Valentino, and the only thing I heard was, ooh, Valentino slaps. So I bought it, and later we found out that actually there were two Valentinos for some reason. Is this my Valentino? Was probably not. Pazzolo Gabrieli. Where is this? Is this in... Ah, it's in Rome. I was in Milano just now. A lot of buildings look similar to this, so I thought it might be in Milan. I apologize. Where is the random article? Where is the random article, man? But for example, look at this. CSS General Earl Van Dorn. It's a warship used in 1862, and you have so much data on it, and you can link all of this together. It's incredible. It's incredible. All right. I love Wikipedia. I remember reading about people complaining that it might be biased towards some causes or some data. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I read through some articles. And in the end, people are writing it. So people are biased by nature. But if you supplement whatever you are editing and writing with real information and real data, I don't know. I don't think you can switch it around for a cause to sound bad or for a cause to sound good if the data you are quoting and citing is either bad or good. So yeah. Triumph of Humanity. Okay, I donated 3 times this year. It's one of the last bastions of factual information. Why were people saying... All right. Wait. Is Wikipedia biased? I don't know why I'm searching this on Reddit by. Is Wikipedia really biased towards left politics? Ah, yeah, this is... I have recently heard from 2 people on separate occasions that Wikipedia is biased. Been using it all my life and never thought anything about it. Both people I heard are right-leaning for context. Alright. Bias creeps in because Wiki sticks with facts. Roughly a third of the US population considers facts they don't like to constitute bias. What? There is Conservapedia, alright. Reality has a well-known liberal bias. I mean, why would you trust Stephen Colbert? Isn't this guy like a talk show host? Television host? Yeah. Why would you even reference him in a context of a global encyclopedia and the constant struggle to build between the left wing and the right wing in politics? It's so stupid. All right. Is Wikipedia biased? Wikipedia is perfectly neutral, but it's transparent. You can literally check the sources, edit history, and talk pages for every article. Biases show up, but they are easier to spot than on most platforms. This is actually a pretty reasonable answer, to be honest. It's heavily moderated. Yes, the edit section of most articles is a war zone and has been for decades. Certain organizations, for better or worse, have employees paid specifically to monitor and doctor Wikipedia entries, and a lot of just of spite. The most obvious one being the organizations who proudly and explicitly add German soldier warfighter entries to remove anything that could be construed as heroism. Again, for better or worse. One upside of high school in the early 2000s was how seldom your school would read their Wikipedia page. All right. It's actually a pretty reasonable thread, to be honest, especially on Reddit. Russia threatens to ban GTA 6 if Rockstar doesn't remove male strippers and other immoral content. Brother, the whole GTA is basically immoral content. It's Sodoma and Gomorrah personified or gamified in a product. How do you mean, like male strippers? Did they have male strippers in GTA 5? That's something to interesting to research about. Russia's moral compass: male stripper is immoral, female stripper is moral. All right. Yeah, I can't believe they're putting immoral content into a game series about being a violent criminal. Wow. Yeah, stealing cars, killing people, racketeering, all of that is good, but yeah, please, no males, more male strippers. Oh. And what's the worst thing? It doesn't come from individual actors. It comes from a state. So 300 million people are behind the idea of maybe 50 people in charge to do this. It's incredible, especially in Russia, in which rebelliousness is not, it's not a good course of action, so to say. No one cares. Make the male stripper Russians, but the strip owner should be from Ukraine. Yeah. Russian morality. All right. I mean, Reddit is a bit biased. That's why I like. That's why I like 4chan as well. When employees feel slighted, they work less. New research from Wharton management professor Peter Capelli reveals how even the slightest mistreatment at work can result in lost productivity. I mean, I know that people need to empirically prove things, but I mean, it's obvious. I don't know if you have a massive attrition of original employees. New CEO came in, completely changed the culture, took perks away one by one without anything given back. Then implemented a bonus structure where most people get 5% and the directors get 25%. I hate these people. After years of company reviews, cycles saying the management doesn't do anything to help the people on the ground, start my new job tomorrow. Yeah, paying yourself first. Amazing. But I mean, this is obvious. This is obvious. I mean, a research. So there's not even a research here. The only reason my boss with 50 years experience in the field left is that her boss, a woman 30 years junior. So wait, 50 years of experience. If she started at 20, she must be 7. How the fuck? How the hell? How the hell can? Okay, this. All right, this will be also interesting. Let's see something else now. Let me close all of this because I need to run a couple of minutes. So maybe I have 20 minutes left. I love to supplement my knowledge from both sides of the spectrum. So I'm always on top. All right, someone asked, explain the AI hype shit. OpenAI profit $0. OpenAI 2025. Man, I love 4chan just because it's so unhinged and funny. Millennials obsessed with young people get Botox and surgeries to try and look young, hoping to distract it from some AI bullshit they never thought would catch on, but now they just roll with it. The earth will cook because people want to generate porn. It goes to show what a cancerous species we turned out to be. I mean, this is not untrue. In the end, we are sexual beings. But at the same time, they are also conscious beings, and the struggle between our consciousness trying to keep us afloat, especially in the complex environment and in the everyday world we found ourselves in, and our sexual nature, which is just like, oh, I see a hot woman and suddenly I get a hard on. We need to know how to balance this. If we don't, you get the same situations that happened a couple of days ago, I think, with this streamer Akari sharing his, well, not exactly the best kinds of links and online. He basically stored lolly and CP porn on inside a notepad, which was for me, wow. So, alright, someone answered, do people even want to generate porn? I can't fap to almost anything I see on Civ, it just looks awful. Yes, people want to. The pedos scrolled allowed AI to take real kids and put their heads on bodies. Oops. Let's not read this. Explain the AI hype shit. There is nothing to explain, nothing makes sense, and nothing of value will come of it. Alright, so this is one of these never happens people. It's the biggest waste of resources in the entire humanity's history. It's a damn shame given that we're nearly out of reachable copper. And these R-word execs want to waste even more at a higher rate so the imaginary arrow can go up. Reminder that AI hardware won't hit the second-hand market, it's straight to landfill where most of it will be carbonized and not recycled at all. What? We're reaching the limits of capitalism where 0.1% will hoard 99% of resources on the planet. It's the most R-word situation possible, but the answers are extremely easy to execute if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. If you wondered why the Zack and the gang are building bunkers on various Pacific islands, wonder no more. They are currently used to R-word kids, but they'll... Alright. So Elon, right here, had said something interesting. He said, the reason I say it's not a solid thing is because all the cells in your body pretty much age at the same rate. I've never seen someone with an old left arm and a young right arm ever in my life. So why is that? That means that there must be a clock, a synchronizing clock that is synchronizing across 35 trillion cells in your body. Billionaires are terrified of death because it's the one thing they can't buy their way out of it. Yeah, it is true. It's true. Well, they can't buy themselves out of any part of mortality, but being a it's more of a problem for other people. Arguably that is as well, but if you you won't appreciate that. Billionaires are also the only people who have a chance of solving this problem because it requires so many resources. Yeah, and they what an idiot. Yeah, and definitely they would use whatever they gain from this to help you, Anon. Shit. Elo says you can solve aging problem by controlling master clicking money. Elon Musk in an interview saying you can turn someone into a butterfly with mRNA. Oh man. Poor Elon. He's weird. He's really weird. What a weird human being. Okay, let me post this. And as well, I think we are done for today. Thank you so much for being part of this. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.